Hey everybody, it's Shamika. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos. I appreciate your support. So I really wanted to go over this W-4 for you guys really quick so that you guys can understand some of the stuff that you see when you're actually doing, excuse me, I'm changing pages. I wanted you guys to understand what you're looking at. So when you do the online application, or if you choose to do the paper application, you will know exactly what you are reading. Now, I know most people do not go to the instructions page. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get that for you quickly. All right. So let's go over this pretty fast. This is the SS4 form, which is the form that you would use when you are trying to get an EIN from the IRS. If you are unsure what an EIN is nothing more than an employee identification number. This is where you would submit your wages and your income for your business. Okay. This top portion of the page is not for you. You see they have an EIN and it is blank here. That is because that is what the IRS will put on the top of the page and put it in their filing. So you will never fill out this part. So you can just skip it and go right on down here to line 1. Okay. Now, if you have not incorporated, you will simply be the individual and not the legal name of the entity. If you have incorporated, you have a corporation, an LLC, or you have a nonprofit, you would put the legal name, not the individual's name on line 1. Line 2, trade name of business. This is also called the fictitious name, the doing business as name, if you are operating under a different name. If you guys watch my other videos, you will see I use the example of Walmart. It's called Super Walmart, Walmart Supercenter, Neighborhood Walmart, and Sam's Club. That would be the trade name because the actual legal name is Walmart Corporation. Okay, so it is different. These line 1 and line 2 are different. So if you see trade name on the online application, it is simply asking you what is the fictitious name or the doing business as name. Here, number 3, the executor, administrator, or trustee. You would only fill out this portion if you are getting an EIN for a trust. If you're handling someone's estate, that is where you would put the individual's name there, and you would skip the trade name because it is not a business. Okay, that person would do box 3. If you're doing this for a trust, if you're an executor, administrator, trustee, if you're doing it any of those things, you would do 3 and not 2. You guys know 4A and 5A, those are basically just your addresses. Now y'all notice they give you the mailing address and the street address. Some of y'all don't even pay attention to the difference. Sometimes it is the same. For most of us, it may be different. If you are an individual that you have, as you can see, it does not allow you to put a P.O. box. But if your brick and mortar building is not a place where you want mail to go because you're afraid someone may actually take your mail, you would use a different mailing address. The street address, of course, is going to be just the street address. Where is this business taking place? That is the street address. The mailing address could be the same or it could be different. 4B, 5B, very simple, y'all. City, state, that is all that is asking for. If y'all notice, it is city and state, 4B and 5B, because it is to match 4A and 5A. So if these have 2 different addresses, then the city and state could also be different. County and state, they give y'all 1, okay? And y'all, the reason they give you 1 is because it is asking solely about the business, not the individual. So you would only put information here that is concerning the business, not the individual. All right, here is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this form is because a lot of y'all don't even understand what a responsible party is. So 7A, the responsible party, that would be the individual that has that has access to the debts, or shall I say the assets and the liabilities of the company. So if you are just a general partner, okay, in this business, if you are not the person that would be filing the taxes or handling any and everything that has to do with the banks or the IRS, you would not put yourself as the responsible party. You would put the person that normally handles all of this here, okay? And then you would, of course, put their Social Security. If they're a citizen, you would put their I-10. If they're a non-citizen, and you would use their EIN if They are a business entity. Now, I know y'all probably thinking, I thought you had to be a person. You do not. And the reason why is because some people can have, and let's just say LLP, a limited liability partnership. Two members of that partnership could be two different organizations. It could be two LLCs that have decided to partner together to be a LLP. And so that is why they are asking you for the EIN if it does not fit Social Security number or the ITIN. So just in case y'all did not know, you can use a company's EIN to go here on this page to match with the responsible party if it is a business and not a person. All right, let's go to 8A. It's going to ask you, is this LLC or a foreign equivalent? Majority of the time, it is just an LLC. If you have a foreign business, then you would put yes. Okay. A lot of times, remember back up here, I said over here in 7A and 7B, it can be an EIN. So if it's a business, then you would put yes. If it's a foreign business, you could also put a yes. And yes, people who have foreign businesses can get EINs over here. And I'm going to tell you what they have to do to get it as we go further down on this form. All right. 8B says if it is yes, enter the number of LLC members. Remember I said over here in 7A and 7B, a lot of times you could be an LLP or an LLC could have more than one member. An S Corp can have, let me want to make sure I'm saying that right. Yeah, an S Corp can have more than one member. You would get the K1, all the members would get K1s. So if there's more than just you that is managing the business, or would take a portion of the sales and add them onto the taxes, that is where you would put those numbers at here. If you are in an LLC by yourself, you are considered to be a sole proprietor and you would just put a 1. All right. 8C, if 8A is yes, was the LLC organized in the U.S.? Yes. If it was not, you can put no, and I will, of course, it would be substantiated by here on 8A, where it asks you if it was also a foreign equivalent. Now, 9A, real simple and easy. You're just going to check the type of organization that you have. If you just have a fictitious name and you do not have a actual business structure, you are considered to be a sole proprietor. As you see, they put SSN to let you know that that is because you do not have an EIN and you have been using your SSN to file taxes. If that is you, you would check that box. If you are a partnership, you guys would check that box. So most of y'all would pretty much understand where I'm going. I am going to answer the ones that y'all may not know. If it's a corporation, more than likely you're going to put that form that you filed, which will be an 1120 right here in this box. If you are a nonprofit, if you have a 501 C3 letter or a 501c4, there are others than C3, okay? So if you are an organization that's a nonprofit and you have anything other than probably a C3, maybe a C4, any of those, they want you to write what that is in there. No big deal. You definitely can do that. A lot of times when they put other specify, there's probably not gonna be an other unless it is, and I was gonna say a government agency, but that's probably not gonna happen either because they have it over here, okay? Remember I was telling you guys about an estate, the trustee back up here where we were talking about here on line 3. This estate, it's usually for an individual. So if you are doing this for an estate, you will need the social security number of the individual that is deceased because you are managing their estate. So they need that information there. Same with the plan administrator. If you are the administrator of, this is like an estate also, you will need the tax identification number. All right. Same with the trust. You'll need the tax identification number. Those, the plan and the trust, they usually have their own EIN. So you will put those here in this box. The estate, it would be someone's social, okay? Now, these, in my opinion, should have been in the other category, but they're not. But you got military, state, local government, farmers, federal government, REMIC, and you have the Indian tribal, and you got group exemption numbers. The majority of us individuals will not have to do any of these, okay? These are usually done by larger corporations, organizations, so we're gonna move past that because that's not something you're probably ever going to fill out. Now, 9B says if you If this is a corporation and it was made outside of the U.S., they want that information so that they can continue to put this, what country did you incorporate to begin with, and then now what state are you operating as a foreign entity. So they want to know what state you are operating of. Then they're going to ask you, and this is probably one of the biggest ones that you guys see on the online, is why are you applying? Are you starting a new business? Did you hire employees? If you hire employees, you will have to do extra. What I would tell you guys to do, if you are not sure if you're going to hire, or if you know you're going to hire, you may not hire right away. So just do it as starting a new business instead of doing the hire employees, especially when you're doing it online, because they're going to make you put a whole lot more information that y'all probably are not going to know or understand. So just check started a new business. It may say compliance with the IRS withholding regulations. This is usually for somebody that's a withholding agent, for someone that is not here in the country. So for you guys who are in the United States, don't even worry about this one here. You don't have to worry, because you won't do that unless you are a withholding agent. Then they also ask you if you're doing it for a banking purpose. Now, I bet y'all didn't even know that a lot of people just need an EIN to open a bank account. And you guys will see what I mean when I get down a little further. You may not want an EIN for tax purposes. You just may want it because you want to open a business bank account. Now, I hope if you open a business bank account, you are also going to report your business income, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. But they do give you the option to just check that you want to do it to open a business bank account. If you're changing the type of organization, so if you went from an LLC to a corporation, even if you went from a sole proprietorship to an LLC, you could use this to change the type of organization, and then you would just put what the new one is. If you guys don't know, if you started out as a sole proprietor, that is, or a fictitious name, and that is not an LLC, not a corporation, and you do upgrade, you do have to now get rid of that old EIN, because it will no longer work, because you've upgraded and you now have a new EIN to use. Purchase going business. Now, this is something y'all may not know. You can purchase someone else's business, but the IRS does not like you to use their EIN because it is not assigned to you. As y'all can see up here on the page, they ask you about responsible party. It's linked with somebody's social, and that's not going to be you because you purchased somebody else's business. So you can put that you purchased it, but you will have to get your own EIN. You cannot operate under theirs. Now, these two created a trust. Simple. If you created a trust, you're going to need that. Created a pension plan. Most of y'all may not have that. That is usually going to be larger organizations. So individuals usually won't ever do that one. 11 is easy. Put the when you started your business. 12, closing month of accounting year. Most of us would say December, unless you're operating like the government and you're doing September. September 30th is the last day of the fiscal year for the federal government. October 1st is the beginning of the fiscal year. For us, normal individuals, our beginning date is January 1st and our ending date is December 31st. We do not operate on the same type of calendar that the government does because we are not given funds from anybody else. We're giving funds from our customers. So we usually do January through December. Okay. Remember, we were talking about employees. 13, I'm going to skip. But this is basically where you would put the information for your employees. A lot of y'all are not even going to do that. And like I said, I would, usually tell you guys to skip it, get the EIN, and then worry about doing your, your 941 forms later, okay? Instead of doing it all now, because y'all are going to get confused, because most of y'all do, okay? So I'm going to leave 13 and 14 out. 15, remember we were talking about a withholding agent. If you are a withholding agent, they basically just want to know, when do you get this income? Okay, when were they paid? Most of y'all are not going to be withholding agents. So for those of you that are, this is where you would fill that out. That would only apply to you. 16 is asking you the principal business. All right. Most of y'all, these are very basic and easy. If you do not know, or you cannot find what you think you fall under, then just put other and type what it is. Okay, they try to cover everything. But if you can't, then you can just do, like I said, other and do what it is. Now, y'all notice when y'all do it on the online, you can check one of these, but then they try to break it down to give you other categories to choose because the IRS is trying to see what tax code belongs to your entity. Okay, if you see that here, they don't do that. It's very simple. Online, they try to narrow it down. So if you see other answers that look closer to what you actually have, then that is what you would fill out. 17, indicate the principal line of merchandise sold. So if you are selling something And let's just say it don't match what you put up top. You can put that down here in 17. I don't believe that if you don't answer this, they're going to reject your application. But if you want to help them, like we said, they were trying to narrow it down. So if you want to put what it is that you sell, the type of service that you provide, that you can put that here in this box. So for example, if you're a healthcare and social assistance, but you might just be a home health agency or a home health aide, or you do home care and companion services, you would put that here so that they have a better idea of what it is you do, because they are trying to narrow it down. All right, 18 has the applicant entity on line 1 ever applied or received the EIN. They want to know yes or no, and that's because, well, a couple of reasons. One, the IRS does not issue more than one to a responsible party with that SSN in a 24-hour basis. So they want to know if you are requesting more than one, because you will hopefully fax this in versus mailing it in. And if they see that you've requested more than one in 24 hours, it's going to be automatically rejected and you will have to resubmit. So be careful when you answer that. But also, they're asking if you received one previously, because they want to know if you need to just reuse that one or if they're going to give you another one. They may follow up with questions if you put that you have applied and received the EIN, because they're probably curious of why you're requesting another one, because it says the applicant entity. So it is specific to the entity that you are applying for. So if you have one, or if you check yes, that means you have one, and you need to call the IRS to find out what that is versus getting a new one. Now, the most important piece of this form, and I know that's because we're right here at the bottom, is a third-party designee. The third-party designee is not the same as the responsible party. The responsible party, again, guys, is the individuals that have access to the assets and liabilities. Basically, who has access to the money and will be handling the money. Basically, who's handling the money. Okay, so let me just keep saying that. That is what the responsible party is. The third-party designee, that is if you have a foreign individual who wants to be able to get an EIN, but they are not here in the United States. And technically, if you are not in the United States, you are not supposed to be requesting an EIN, because it is for citizens. But if you are from another country, you can use what is called a third-party designee. Have them fill out this information for you, their name, their address, and phone number, fax number if needed, and the IRS will issue the EIN to the designee. And then after the designee is issued that, their job is done. They have nothing else to do with your EIN or your organization, because now you have the EIN for your organization, and the responsible party is the person who is now supposed to take over. Okay, so you can, let me say that again, if you are from another country, you can get a third-party designee to request your EIN. So if you find somebody that says, hey, I'm in another country, but I want to open up a bank account, this is how you would get around to doing a bank account. You could fill out this form, have that third-party designee requested on the behalf of the organization or that entity. Then once they are given it, their job is done, and then they hand it on to you, and then you go forth and do all those great things that you wanted to do. Now, you do have to, if somebody is going to be requesting this third-party designee for you, you need to make sure that you print and sign. The IRS is absolutely going to be looking for that. No one should be able to request on your behalf without your permission. And how you show your permission is by putting your name, your title, signature, and the date. Okay, so I hope I taught you guys something new. I hope you learned something new. I'm just going to show y'all down below. I know y'all usually never go to the other pages, but I promise you it is telling you exactly what it is that you need to do. If you're unsure about what a responsible party is, the IRS will tell you. If you're unsure about what the third-party designee is, the IRS will tell you. I will also let you know that if you are considering using a third-party designee, you do not need to use a power of attorney or any 88. The power of attorney is, I think, the IRS form 2848, and the other form to give someone permission to talk to the IRS on your behalf is the 8821. You will not need to do any of that. You can just give that third party the right to request on your behalf simply by filling out this third party designee form. So if you know somebody who's from another country, this is very important, because if they're not doing this right, they're missing out. And they're going to get rejected. So if you're trying to get a bank account, you're from another country, you want an EIN, you're from another country, make sure you are taking advantage of the third-party designee. For you guys here who are in the United States, simply just use the IRS's EIN tool. Very easy, not too difficult. Hope you guys, learn something, get those EINs, file those businesses, get that business credit, and I will talk